Kun sä lukit arvokkaan pyörästä tuonne kadun varteen, niin luotatko tuuriin vai panostako laatuun? Me ollaan täällä Nordrhein-Westfalenissa, Saksassa, lukkovalmistaja Abusin kotikonnuilla ja tänään me päästään katsoa vähän kulissien taakse, että miten siitä raakateräksestä, minkä näköisiä työvaiheita ja teknologioita tarvitaan, että siitä tulee se korkean turvaluokituksen murtosuoja. Ja totta kai me myöskin testataan, mitä ne lukot oikeasti kestää. Erittäin mielenkiintoinen visiitti tulossa. Tuu mukaan. Ja tämä video on siis tehty kaupallisena yhteistyönä Abusin kanssa.
Everything started 102 years ago in 1924 when August Bremiker, he's the founder of Abus, founded the company. He was already 63 years old when he founded the company with a few of his sons. The first padlock was the iron rock. The name is also very international. Back at that days, many lock companies were located here in this area, so we had to do something different. So that's why we focused on the international market back then already. Here we see the first bike lock. It's from 1934. So what was secure back then is probably not that secure anymore today. It's more like a bracelet, I would say.
So your great-grandfather started the business by building locks in his home basement. If he would walk into a modern Abus facility today, what would surprise him the most?
I think he would be positively shocked by all the changes in technology, but very quickly you would realize, okay, the same way they did optimize the production, we do in our days with the tools we have.
It starts with the key blankets. They're produced for us, 2 different types. And then they are either going in a machine like this here or in the manual production where we do the one key solution. But to give you an overview here over this machine, they are all engineered and built here in-house. You have the keys in the front, they will be cut, card will be printed, and outcoming is a final pair of keys. In the stage where they are now, they are modular. So this key could go in any bike lock that we are producing, but we are deciding in the cylinder building department where it will go into. These 4 places here, they are all special orders. So if you have we do a lock manually, then we do it here. She is building the cylinder from the first digit to the last one, and then puts it in the cylinder housing. So that is the housing, puts it in. Then an anti-drill disc comes on top. She's putting the key in and she's testing the lock out. Always both keys to make sure everything is fine.
So it's really nice that you can just use one key to open several bike locks. Chain locks, other U-locks, folding locks, they're all part when they have the X Plus cylinder of the Abus one key family. A lot of e-bikes are already equipped with Abus battery locks out there with the X Plus cylinder. So the e-bike comes already with a battery lock, so you can have a key code and then you can order a lock which is keyed to that battery lock, that you only have to use one key. Yes. And also you can do a master key solution. So for example, for rental fleets, that you have 20 different kind of key codes, but then you have a master key that can open all the locks. So that's also a possibility with the one key option.
The ladies there are doing it all in one go. They're building the whole cylinder, putting the key in, testing it out all in one go. We can't do that fully automated. So we have 3 machines here and 1 big one there. They're only putting the discs in the cylinder. So what we need to do first is what the lady is doing there. She is scanning each single key, then the machine knows which is key number is next, yes. Then in the end, the lock is tested. So the machine is putting the key in, is testing the lock, and then if it's okay, the production number and everything is lasered on, and then it ends up here. And we are building, I think, around about 100 different versions of this lock.
For e-bike battery.
Yeah. What is running the most, like Specialized or Bosch or whatever, is running over the machines, and then smaller orders are then done by hand. That is how the shackle looks like raw. That shackle here will be bent on this machine behind you. And then it's quite a process. It needs to get cleaned, hardened, coated, comes back to us. After hardening, it will be brought back into shape again because of tension while hardening and so on. And then we put a rubber housing around it, and then it goes into the final assembly.
Where does the steel come from?
Like 200 kilometers from here. It's a steel plant where we are getting the steels from. We have these scanners in there, and they are scanning the material, measuring the material, and then bending or bringing it back into shape, measuring it again if it's okay, and then are putting them out. For us, it's quality.
Nämä tekee täällä siis itse työkalunsa, millä he työstää metalleja ja rakentaa myöskin noin automaatiolinjoja. Nämä välykset on siis tätä luokkaa.
You need to be grounded all the time. So you need to wear a shoe band. This is a metal strap that needs to be put on your skin and then under the shoe. So you're always connected to the ground.
Yes.
And one of the lab coats, we have carbon fiber weaved in here. So if you have a static charge on you, it will be discharged immediately. Perfect, you're fine.
Eli käytiin myös tämmöisellä osastolla, missä näiden sähkölukkojen se elektroniikkaosuus ohjelmoidaan ja kasataan staattiselta sähköltä hyvin suojatussa tilassa ja prosessissa.
Bluetooth itself is quite easy to break into. So what we did, our company in southern Germany, they took the whole Bluetooth standard, they ripped it apart, secured it on 3 or 4 different levels and put it back together. So we have a secured and patented Bluetooth standard that we're using in our products.
We have seen the latest locking technology, smart locks. Do you see a time when we can find physical keys only in the museums?
Well, I thought about cars and the automotive industry. Yes, you still have this physical key, but it's not used in a way that a key was used some 20 years ago. There is a trend and a tendency, but I would not say that keys will be only seen in museums in 10-15 years.
Eli tällä Abus One softalla sä pystyt esimerkiksi hallitteen paitsi pyörälukkoon, niin kotislukkoja ja monia muita, mutta siis kännykkäappilla avataan lukko, joka on tuo pyörässä. Ja sitten kun se lukitaan, niin sä näet sitten tästä kartasta, että minkä sä sen pyörän olet jättänyt.
If you get closer with your phone, it opens automatically. You can install that in the app so that you don't even need to get your phone out of the pocket.
Tästä se lähtee.
Eli siihen, miten tämä lopullinen tuote syntyy, kun yritetään se lukkopesä lukon runkoon, niin pääsin perehtymään ihan kädestä pitäen. Eli kasasin itselleni lähes kokonaan omin pikkukätösin tämmöisen Bordeaux-taittolukon, joka on siis yksi Abusin menestystuotteista. Taitaa olla 10 eri versioita siitä myynnissä. Ja samalla muuten tuli kumottua se urbainen legenda, että se nivel olisi taittolukon heikoin lenkki, niin ainakaan Abusin kohdalla tämä ei pidä paikkansa, se on ihan testattu juttu.
Danke schön. Handmade in Germany. If I have a certain amount of money to use for a bike lock, should I buy the best I can get or 2 locks, which I can get with the same money?
Yeah.
Of course, lower level security, but I have then 2.
It makes sense to use 2 locks, but you have to make sure that you are not using 2 U-locks or 2 chain locks, but rather mix the type of lock. It really depends where you stop it. If your budget is again for a granite super extreme, that would be my choice, because I think then you don't really need a second lock. But if the budget is more tight and you prefer to spend it, maybe you want to secure your rear wheel or your front wheel, then a 2-lock could make sense. The goal must be to make it as difficult as possible for the thief. And if he attacks with a bolt cutter, it's a different story if he would use other tools. So certain locks are better resistant against one type of method to steal a bike than others. So it's a good idea to use 2 different locks.
So we're doing all the prototype testing, everything you have seen up here, all the different insurance companies and laboratories we're working with in all the different countries. They have their regulations and we're testing for these regulations. So the test we are doing today is a standard test here in Europe, and we're doing it with a cold lock. The lock is minus 40 degrees cold. And we're doing the classic tests that are impact test, tensile, and then we have cutting and tension. So when we are testing here, we're not doing it like the test laboratories. They're only testing to their limits. We are trying to figure out how much it really can take, so we are always breaking it. You have a 3 kilo weight that is hanging in there, and we need to drop it from a meter height 5 times. This is the test regulations, but we are going further, so we are doing more than only that. Now we're doing more.
Yeah, the lock
Still
works.
perfectly. Just the housing is gone.
So it was the plastic.
Yeah, the plastic is designed to take all the load.
Right.
Pulling test. It will give a bang at some point, I'm just warning.
4 tonnia. $5 tonnia se kesti vetoa.
It is still locked. You need to break at least a second time or cut a second time.
No ehkä mäkään en saa sitä vääntyä. Testataan vähän voimatyökalua. Tässä on siis normaali karkasimaton teräs ja voimavihdit. Karkasimaton menee kyllä. Sitten tätä karkastua versioa, missä 6 tonnia kesti ennen kuin tämä katkesi, niin mitäs jälkeen saa tämmöisellä pihdeellä? Eihän tää saa. Ei tää saa alkua, niin ei tää saa oikein voimaa. Nyt alkaa olla työkalut kohdalla. On yllähti. Taitaa antaa mun pihtini periksi. No ei tää kyllä ollut moksiskaan.
We have the U-shackle lock in there, and we're twisting it, shackle against body. We put it up to 1,400 Newton meter. Then we are turning it back. We can take it out to show you. And this is how it looks like now, after being bent. Works fine. But now we're breaking it, okay? So it's for 1 meter bar, 180 kilos or 187 kilos. It's still completely sturdy.
Right, you have to do something else also.
Yeah, I have to do something else.
Yeah.
So it's not really open yet,
Yep.
even if it's broken.
So if I close it completely, and it gives you a little warning. So it goes off. It's at 100 decibel. I need a key to get it I have to open it. And that should not happen if you have it on your bike, right? So that is why you don't close it completely, like when you want it to go off. You have like two different versions to close the lock. So that is a transport mode, that it doesn't go off if you have it in your bracket on your bike. Other brackets are rattle a lot, so that was the door opener, for example, in the US when we started there quite some years ago, that the bracket don't rattle.
In a way, secondary thing, but for the consumer, it's...
Yeah, it's important. Yeah. They shouldn't rattle, and also like for the dealers, they are easy to install. That's also a topic. It shouldn't be complicated to install such a bracket, so that's also what we consider.
If we look forward, what would be the one thing you would want to ensure that would stay as it is for the next 100 years in Abus?
If I may say two things. One thing I would really hope and wish that Abus is still a family-run company, because I think that way of running this business is the best for the people and our customers and suppliers. And the other thing is that we stick to the values that also were the foundation of running this business for 102 years. And that is how to treat other people, how to respect other people. And maybe in 100 years, or not maybe, everything will be upside down from what we have today. But if we could find the same values again, I would be extremely happy and excited about that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for your time. Ja tämmöisellä menetelmillä syntyy miljoonia pyörän rukkoja vuodessa, joten päätarkoitus on aiheuttaa pyörävarkalle päänsärkyä suojaamalla sitä sun omaisuuttasi. Toivottavasti tämä video vähän avasi sitä, mitä se kuuluisa saksalainen laatu tässä tapauksessa tarkoittaa. Kiitos kun katsot tätä videoa, ja jos jää vielä kysymyksiä, niin kirjoittele tuohon alas kommentteihin. Moi moi! Yksi mitä moni ei tiedä, että Abushan on taitaa olla maailman 3. suurin kypärävalmistaja, eli löytyy lasten kypärää, kaupunkikypärää, maantietä, gravelia, maastoa, kaikkea löytyy. Made in Italy on nämä kypärät.